Sketching a graph that will fit the narrative of some kind of word problem description. We're going to try to break it down just based on examples. So number one, the person standing on the ground throws a ball onto a flat rooftop. The ball rolls around for several seconds and then falls off the roof into a puddle of mud. So we have an x-axis and a y-axis. We're going to go ahead and label them. The x-axis is just time. And then the y-axis, the thing that makes sense here is the height of the ball. Like any coordinate grid, it will start at 0, 0. So now let's go ahead and look at the actual word problem. The person is standing on the ground level, so it's going to start at 0, 0. It throws the ball onto a flat rooftop. So the height of the ball, when you throw the ball, the height of the ball is going to increase. The ball rolls around for several seconds on the flat rooftop. Because the rooftop is flat, while the ball is rolling around on that rooftop, the height of the ball is not changing. So it is going to be constant for a few seconds. Then the ball falls off the roof into a puddle of mud. That means it's back on the ground in the puddle of mud. So it has to go all the way down back to the ground level. So this is a sketch that follows that narrative. Let's try number 2. Pat leaves her house on a bike. She rides at a constant speed until she reaches a lemonade stand. She parks her bike and takes a rest. Then she turns around and bikes home as fast as she can. So again, X and Y axis. And we're going to stick with time on the x-axis. And the y-axis, I'm going to say this is distance to her house, Pat's house. So she will start writing at her house. So she's going to start at 0, 0. Then she is going to ride at a constant speed. So sometimes we think that constant means it has to be a flat line. Well, not always, because my y-axis is not her speed. My y-axis is the distance to her house. As she is biking away from the house, the distance to her house is going to increase. Okay. Then she reaches a lemonade stand. She parks her bike and takes a rest. That means that the distance to her house when she's resting and not biking is not going to change. So that's a flat line. Then she turns around and bikes home as fast as she can. That means that the speed, the line, will be steeper than the line in the beginning. And the distance as she's biking home, the distance to her house should decrease. So this is a decreasing and steeper line. It does not say she reached the house, so it's not going to touch the horizontal axis here. Okay, let's try it again. Kareem is hiking towards his campsite at a constant pace. A few miles from the campsite, he sees a snake and turns and runs the other way. Minutes later, he sits to rest for a while. X and Y. Time on the X. And the Y-axis will be distance to campsite. Kareem is hiking towards the campsite, so he did not start at his campsite, so he's not going to start at 0, 0. He started at some distance away from the campsite. He is hiking towards the campsite at a constant pace. Again, this is not going to be a flat line because the y-axis is not speed, it's the distance to campsite. Since he's going towards the campsite, the distance to campsite should decrease. So this is a decreasing line. Then he sees a snake and turns around and runs the other way. So probably a much steeper pace. Since he's running the other way, the distance to campsite is going to increase again. Okay. Then, minutes later, he sits down to rest for a while. While he's resting, the distance to campsite is not changing. And then the last one, Luke steps out of the pool and climbs the ladder to the high dive. He waits there, getting scared. He eventually climbs back down. Then he gets enough nerve and starts climbing the ladder again. Okay. X and Y axis. This is time. And this is distance above the pool. All right, he steps out of the pool and climbs the ladder. So he starts with distance above the pool being at 0 because he starts at the pool level. As he starts climbing the ladder, his distance above the pool is increasing. Okay, so then he reaches the high dive. Then he waits there getting scared. As he's waiting, the distance above the pool stays constant, so constant line. Okay. Since he's scared, he climbs back down. So the distance above the pool goes back down to 0. So he climbs back down to the pool level. Then he gets enough nerve and starts climbing the ladder again. So the distance above the pool is going to increase one more time.